Hey guys, Butch Hartman on Speech Bubble with Jace. We're here with Cinco Paul, and he wrote The Secret Life of Pets. Was that fun?
Woof. Just amazing,
Exactly.
the facts spewing out of us.
So what was it like having this script produced in general? Because most movies don't get made at all.
Yeah, I mean, for us, initially, for me and Ken, it was a dream come true. We're on a movie set.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Our
that's
movies
good.
being...
There's all these people, you know, and then we had like Swoozie Kurtz and John Carroll Lynch, all these great people, and they were reading our lines. And then at one point, the director decided he wanted to just rewrite the script completely.
That happens all the time.
On set?
Yeah, and we would
happens all
show
the
up
time.
and there are new pages, and it's like, who wrote these pages? And we ultimately found out that he had done that. And I don't want to be overly negative about the experience.
Oh no, I'll be overly negative. It's fine. I understand completely.
But that really, it was a dream, and then it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, and then we saw it's like, and we had no control, and you know, a movie, it's a train.
It is.
There's no one who can stop it.
Yep,
And so,
yep.
but ultimately, they weren't happy with, you know, a lot of what had happened. So we did reshoots, and we were sort of involved in that. But so it was a great experience, and then it was a wake up call to like what
More
things,
control in the contract.
and the fact that
all
we have no control as writers, you know.
How much of the final movie would
Wait,
be
I have
your
another
script?
question though. My other question is this: how do I get Jace in a plastic bubble? How can I make that happen? 'Cause I really want.
I have one.
Do you have one?
I have one at the house.
Can I
so
order
if you,
one? Is there like a
It would be
site I
okay if
can-
you didn't bring it in. It would be fine if you didn't.
Yeah.
Because he's serious.
So that's kind of amazing. So now you took experience out of that experience. Did you take any relationships? Like, are you still friends with Jake Gyllenhaal? Have you guys worked together with other people that were on the movie?
No, Bo Flynn, we're still really good friends with, the producer.
Okay, good.
And he's now in the rock business. He does all of Dwayne Johnson's movies.
I thought you were saying like rock
and roll.
rock
Oh,
and roll.
no. He
That's
does,
even
like,
cooler.
You know, Rampage and the Skyscraper one and like all of his movies like Bo Flynn does. So he's gone on to like these massive
I want my movies to be so memorable. We go the Skyscraper one.
I think it's actually called Skyscraper.
It's called Skyscraper.
I think it is.
Is it called
yeah.
Skyscraper?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
there you go.
And he just like beats the crud out of that skyscraper.
Oh yeah, it's him versus a humanized skyscraper.
I will
It's
kill
the-
this skyscraper.
and he's
Let go of my family, skyscraper.
And he's messing with The Rock. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
You can't
no,
mess with The Rock.
no.
I think we get The Rock.
Rock versus skyscraper. Rock wins every
Yeah,
time.
right. You know, they never did a movie called Rock, Paper, Scissors, and they totally
Oh my
shot it.
gosh.
Boom, we just thought of that, right?
You could sell that movie on the title alone.
I want to help Cinco write movies.
So
go ahead. So after Bubble Boy.
So then, but Disney still liked us, and so they brought us on to work on Santa Claus 2. And so then that
Santa Claus 2.
Tim Allen, right, the sequel, and so that was a fun experience, and
That's the one where he turns into the toy, right? Is that
right,
the one?
yeah, and it's the Mrs. Claus, right? He has to find, and so
nice.
and so that was good, and that movie came out and was actually successful.
giant
hit.
And people generally liked it. It was, you know,
and I've heard of Santa Claus because of that.
well, there you go. Yeah,
There you
yes,
go.
yeah.
Right.
We helped promote that new character.
Yes, you guys created it.
Yeah,
right?
we created that
Yeah.
character.
Really charming character.
Yeah. And so then we were working.
And then the Germans remade it and called it Santa is funny.
Yeah. No, Wo ist
Kringle.
Kringle.
Wo ist Kringle. Yeah.
Nicholas.
And so then
Wo ist Speech Bubble. By the way, we're missing the Speech Bubble Boy tie-in here. We have to have
my God.
Speech Bubble Boy. Come on.
Is that me? Am I Speech Bubble Boy?
You're Speech
You're going to
Bubble
bring
Boy.
the bubble in.
Jace Diehl is Speech
I'm
Bubble.
honored.
Let's all have a little beverage drink because of it. We go.
here's the speech.
I love vodka on the podcast. Okay, good. So, Santa Claus, fantastic. That's great. So, what happens after Santa Claus 2?
And so Ken and I did some other things, but the big step was when Chris Meledandri, who was running Fox Family at the time, brought us over. He had read a script of ours that we sold to Disney called Let It Rain, but that never got made. But he loved it and brought us in and said, I'm doing Horton Hears A Who, the movie. I'd love for you guys to write it.
Wow. Nice.
And it's Ken's favorite book of all time.
Right.
Not favorite children's book, favorite book
Favorite
of all,
book of all time.
time.
It's got a great message, that book.
It has a great
A
message.
person's a person, no matter how small. See what I
And
did?
so we were so excited, and we got to go down to La Jolla, and we met with Mrs. Seuss.
No
Wow.
way.
Because she had approval, because she was a little unhappy with Cat in the Hat and how it had turned out.
I was really
Mike
unhappy
Myers.
with it, too.
Yeah.
I was very unhappy with it.
And so she was just happy that like these two clean-cut family guys, Mormon guys, come down.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the book is in safe hands. And
Right.
so that was really a dream come true. And that was our first real experience with 3 years of making this animated movie, and working with Jim Carrey, and that's the first time working
Can I
with
ask you a question,
Carell.
a technical question for our audience out there?
Sure.
We have a lot of people that want to get in the industry. How long does it normally take to write a screenplay for an animated film? I can tell people, but I want you to tell.
Well,
people.
it's an interesting question, because to write the first draft, but it takes you maybe a couple months. But in animation, you are rewriting that script for over 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is exhausting. It is a marathon. And so, and actually, you kind of never get to write a complete script and hand it in and then start rewriting
It's
it.
always this section's changed, and then it's always a ripple effect. By changing this, it changes the entire ending of the script. You
And we've always been, writing things that were kind of in production as we were writing them. So they're designing the characters, they're starting to storyboard, and so we turn in pages as soon as we have like a first act.
Right.
First 30 pages, we turn that in, and then they start turning that into storyboards.
And the hardest part is it's the approval process, because you've got to go through just loads and loads of people that have to have a say in this movie. But at your level now, where you've gotten to, I mean, I imagine the approval process is a little less. Has that become a little easier for you to get things made and get things done and approved?
Yeah, I mean, what's nice is the way Chris Meledandri ran things initially at Fox and then at Illumination. He's like very hands-on, and like he is like a Walt Disney like.
But he also knows what he's
character.
doing.
He does.
I've worked with a lot of producers who don't know what they're doing, but they want to be involved, like the guy in Bubble Boy, for example.
Right.
And they don't know what they're doing, and so they just want to be involved so they can say they did it. But as long as someone knows what they're doing and can help things out, that's better.
Yeah, and he's like the captain of the ship, so it's very easy to get things.
Good.
He's right there, and we just have his ear constantly,
Nice.
And over the years, we developed just a great rapport and a way to communicate, and we understood.
I met with
each
him
other.
one time and pitched him a movie.
Oh, you did?
And he liked the movie, but it never went anywhere. I was with Steve Odekirk. We pitched a movie together.
Oh, really?
It was it was one of those movies. I pitched a movie to him. It was about a guy with an imaginary friend. But the guy's grown up, and the imaginary friend is still around.
Oh, it's still
yeah. And I thought it was really a good idea, and he did too. But what came back from us was like, this is like 10 years ago. There's so many imaginary friend movies being made right now. Have you seen any Imaginary Friends movies in the last 10 years? No.
They were all in development.
I guess they were. Yeah. Or he was lying, wanted me out of the room. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Oh, there's so many other of these
line? That line.
Is that used a lot?
Really love you.
Oh, we would love to do this, but there's,
But pirates are actually dinosaurs. So we get those a lot. Yeah.
But you could go pick up our coffee. That'd be great. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so sorry. So Chris Meledandri, great guy. You do Horton Hears A Who.
We do Horton Hears A Who, and then he's leaving to form his own company, Illumination.
Wow.
He has lunch with me and Ken and says, "I'm forming this company. I'd love for you to be my guys. I want you to write everything."
Wow.
And we said,
How do you turn that down?
Yes, we would love to, because Horton was a great experience. That was a very successful movie that was also well received by the critics. And so we said yes. And then we had another meeting, and he pitched us this idea that Sergio Pablos, who's a Spanish animator, had come up with, which was
He was a Spanimator?
Yes.
Oh.
See what I did?
A Spanimator, yeah.
Spanish Spanimator?
Yes, yes.
Boom. Yes, exactly.
Speech Bubble Boy and Spanish
And Spanimator, exactly.
We got both of those.
And so I can't understand why Chris didn't buy your project.
Why would he not want to talk to me? I don't know.
Spanimator.
I know. It's a Spanish animator who goes to Germany with Santa Claus in a bubble.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And he loses a wedding ring inside someone's body.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Too good.
It works. Go ahead.
And so he had like some drawings that Sergio had done of like this villain who had adopted 3 little girls, and we said, this sounds amazing. And,
that's
and
great.
Ken had 3 kids. I had 3 kids. We were just
Were they your own kids?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And it wasn't the same 3. And so it was just it really was so close to home, because ultimately it's Despicable Me is a story about how all of us have to sort of put our villain aside to become a dad.
And you're a supervillain with a lair at home anyway, right?
Exactly.
You have a cool car.
And so we just thought this idea sounds great, and then we started writing that, and then kind of the rest.
Exactly.
And it was cool because no one expected anything from this movie.
Well, I got to be honest with you. This is before I met you, and I was like, "This looks really cool." But it's not Disney, it's not Pixar, but it looks great. And it wasn't a blue sky movie either. It wasn't like an Ice Age movie. It was like, this looks actually really good. And the trailer was really funny. Wasn't that Despicable the one with the pyramid, where the pyramid deflates?
Yeah. Yes.
Was that the trailer?
Yes.
Oh, and he freezes everybody in the Starbucks line.
Yeah. Very funny.
Yeah.
And he worked with Steve Carell, my comedy hero, Steve Carell, who I absolutely love. And I want to get him on the podcast. I'm sure he'll come in.
You should. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, thank you very much.
He is the best. I mean, if you're wondering who's the nicest guy in Hollywood.
Besides me.
Right.
Besides Butch Hartman.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
If you're wondering, besides yourself, who's the nicest?
Everyone listening, besides yourself. And
it is Steve Carell. Wow. He is the best, and he is so great to work with. And it's great because, he'll do our lines, but he's a great improviser too. So then he'll start to play with them.
Yep.
And we get to be in the recording studio with him. So he'll start improvising, and then we'll come up with lines, and he'll say, anything else? And then we'll pitch our own lines. It's just, it's a great process.